the Real Spiel Morning Show with Roman Kelly and Trevor Kelsey. We're back again. It's been a good weekend, Trevor. We've got somebody bumping outside our old.
I got some little music going. You're seeing my little my Axl Rose White Man Sway right to the left.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, it's the only dance we know. That I got that, and I got the Seth Rogen the dice thing down.
Yeah,
and I do the lawnmower thing. Yeah. I got a few of them down. Yeah, long as I'm like moving, I'm like waist up only movement though, pretty much. Because I'm at this point in my life too. When I go to concerts, like you'll get there soon. Like I'm at that point where I'm the sit there guy, and like if you stand up for the song in front of me, I'm like sit the bleep down. You know, like I'm trying to watch. I went to the last concert I went to was Guns N' Roses, and I sat like third row, and it was worth every penny of it. And I literally got mad at a young girl in front of me because she would not sit down during November Rain. I'm like, I want to enjoy the song, people. Come on. It did make me feel bad though. Axel's done way more drugs than I've ever done. He's up in.
It's a little unfair.
It is, yeah.
She wouldn't sit down though.
Didn't mean to digress because it was a big weekend, my man Roman.
It was.
We had Friday we had basketball.
Yep.
Saturday morning we had football.
Yep.
Saturday night we had wrestling. Sorry, just say yeah. Just do what Mike says and go. Yeah. Sunday we had some football. Your Aints are off. That's okay. We had a new Philadelphia Eagles rushing record Sunday night.
Yep.
And now Monday we're here to talk about it.
Shout out to Saquon. Yes.
Yes, loved it all, fantasy and reality wise.
Yes, fantasy and reality.
It is always, of course, fantasy is my reality when it comes to football, but that's okay. It's all good. And
you've got Saquon?
I got Saquon.
So do I.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm an Eagles fan. I went after Saquon in every league. I got a little bit on the line tonight, but we don't need to talk about fantasy football as much until I win my league and I just brag about it. And I bring my trophy in here and I put it right here in front of it and I talk about it. Suck it.
All right.
That's what I'll do.
That's fair.
I do want to start Friday with you because we'll get to Saturday. Let's go chronological order here.
All right, let's do it.
Friday night, we did our first show Friday here.
We did.
Talked a little bit of basketball.
What'd you think? Be honest. Be real. This is YouTube. We can be real.
I don't know any other way.
This is the Real Spiel podcast. It's a play on words for a reason. Tell me.
We don't know how to spell.
Thoughts. the thoughts leaving the show.
Thoughts leaving the show was. Well,
it's your first time back on the mic in a minute, wasn't it?
It was. I haven't. Almost probably 10 months almost. Really. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about when you've been doing this for almost 20 years, like I have, and take this much time off. That's the most time I think I've had off in 20 years.
Yeah, that's too much time off. We had to get you back.
Yeah, it's fine. I appreciate it. And I hope you won't. Now you're not gonna get rid of me like bad STD. You can give me penicillin all you want. I'm staying, dude.
Dude, I'm glad.
I'm
You're.
I'm the herpes of the sports radio business.
Trevor,
I'm going nowhere.
You have already
brought
in fans of your own who we've gotten comments on the first show. I didn't announce it. I didn't advertise it. I haven't this yet either because we haven't really gone into any of these shows with an outline.
They probably thought I was already playing.
Granted, I could have made a tweet. Me and Trevor are going live, but when I'm calling it the Real Spiel Morning Show, I don't want to make a tweet at 12:30. And we had gotten off to a later start for the first two morning shows. But
to be fair, if anyone knows me, they know 12:30 is morning.
Well, you've been awake. To be fair, though, you've been awake.
Yeah, I actually woke up.
Every time I've texted you like 10 a.m., you've been, or before 10:30 or 11, you've been awake. So
in these cases, that is the truth. You will learn though at some point. I have knack of texting in my sleep.
Okay,
I have done that before.
Speaking of. My girlfriend last night told me
hold on. We're up to girlfriend status now?
We're up to girlfriend status.
Because originally it was like my friends coming over.
Lady friend. It was lady friend. It was lady friend for a while.
Apparently you got high up that knee before she got nervous.
It's gone to girlfriend now. It's kind of
all right. I can't wait to meet her.
You will. She was talking last night, or she told me last night that I was talking in my sleep. And what's funny about that is I've had multiple girlfriends. I've had roommates. I've never been told I've talked in my sleep ever. I've got these breathing strips because I have a deviated septum. So pretty much only one nostril works at a time, and it kind of alternates throughout the day based on the flow of my
sleep apnea. I know, and I'm in the same somewhat boat area.
And because of that, when you're subconscious, when you're asleep, your brain, it's not enough airflow coming out of your nostrils to let yourself breathe out of your nose. Your mouth, I breathe. I'm a mouth breather when I sleep.
Oh, I do.
It's terrible.
Too, yeah.
This breathing strip, it's like these two magnets. It's like a basically Band-Aids, little tiny Band-Aids, super sticky, way more adhesive than a Band-Aid. And they've got these magnets.
It doesn't leave marks on you.
They've got magnets built into the Band-Aid, and then this little rounded. It's like a breathing strip you can go get from Walgreens that's sticky that just pulls the skin up for you when you put it on your nose. That's what she said. Whatever. But
so you're talking now.
These breathing strips here open my nose and I guess give me a deeper sleep. I breathe way better in my sleep. And every time I've worn them with her in bed.
Did you just start wearing these recently?
She bought me some. I ran out of the I ran out of the Band-Aid magnets because it comes with a 30-pack, and I got it like a year ago. I ran out
apparently
like
not wearing them every
a week.
night.
No, I'm not. Because I tell myself if I stay up later than midnight, later than 2 a.m., I'm not getting a full night's sleep, so I'm not going to waste a pair. When I'm trying to get up at 8 o'clock and I'm only getting 6 hours of rest.
It does
5
make
hours of rest.
when I wear my mask, I definitely sleep heavier. I mean, and I've been wearing it now for 11 years or so. So I mean, but when I first got it, it was like other than having to get past the choking myself with the tubing because I roll around in my sleep.
Yeah.
I can't sleep without it now. Like,
yeah.
If I had a span where I was without it for a few weeks, and I just don't get a good sleep at all. Like, I wake up every hour or two. I can't do it.
I'm getting a much deeper sleep when I wear it now. So I'm gonna have to continue to wear it.
You're getting better sleep.
And I'm talking in my sleep now. So
that you got to be careful of.
Yeah, exactly. She keeps saying you talked in your sleep. I'm like, oh God, like what did I say? What did I say? And she's, I didn't say anything too bad.
I feel like you're just breaking down sports in your sleep.
You would think. I feel like I'm either dreaming about talking about sports, like I'm breaking down sports in my dream, or like I'm arguing at the bar with my friends about some offset wide receiver from years ago, or like I'm like with my girlfriend. All my dreams recently have been significant other like sports.
Yeah.
So
sometimes both combined, right?
Sometimes both combined.
All right, it can be kinky.
We just went to our first football game together. We'll get to that Saturday though. But so I'm talking in my sleep. That's something new that's happened to me over the last night or two. But yeah, back to Friday. You leave the show. You're back. You get back into the game.
I like to brag a little bit. I picked a 16-point win. Look, Cards won by 15.
You're right.
Sometimes I hate being right or close to it, but they did not cover the 20.
I had a pretty close score prediction. I feel like.
Did you pick? Well, see, I didn't go score. I always go deficit. I never.
Or I might have did it on Mike's show, but I think I just agreed with you on the
15, 16 up there. And that seemed to be I mean, it's everybody jump on it because that's what it felt like, and it's what it was. And I mean, it's I know we're only 4 games, not even a full year removed from Kenny Payne.
Yeah,
technically, and yet
not even a full 6 months.
I feel like it seems like we should be okay with being frustrated with getting a win like we did on Friday. Like, I know we shouldn't be looking at gift horse in the mouth right away. I mean, I feel like that kind of went away with the blowouts of the exhibition game. Getting the win against Bellarmine. Obviously, the Tennessee game is no here nor there. We'll leave that in the past because we got things to worry about on Wednesday as well. But like the Winthrop game, like this was a game where it kind of just spotlighted a lot of the problems this team I think is going to have throughout most of the year.
Yeah,
and if you didn't watch the game, and it's blatantly obvious to me, and that is the rebounding part of the game.
Very much.
We saw it against Tennessee, and just when you watch this team, the worry I have is that I just don't know. I don't know where we're going to improve it. I know you like Pryor. I guess you pronounce it Kayson. It should look it's Kayshawn to me because that's what it looks like. But regardless, I'm just going to call him Pryor from now on. You've got Pryor. You've got Waterman. These are guys who are just kind of they are at their ceiling. They are who they are.
They are.
And I think Mike's probably brought this up. I'm sure if I know Mike well enough without listening, I know he's probably brought it up. I'm sure Sean's probably brought it up knowing him as well as I know him. Like, you got to get more out of Scott. And that's and I hate to put it all on his shoulders, but he's also like the one of the other than what's the freshman's name?
Kanai
Roofs.
Yeah.
He's also the big guy. He's not as big at 6'8", but can give us a little bit of size in the front. We're pretty much a 3-man rotation at that center position with Scott, Pryor, and Waterman. And Waterman, and they can rotate between the 4 and the 5, preferably with Pryor and Waterman in there at the 4 because you can stretch it out and run that 4-1 with Scott in the middle. But with Scott with the youth, he has the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
And you see that little things. I know he's technically a sophomore, I guess. He's only 19 years old though.
Yeah.
And you see the potential, and I see it in him, but then you see that young kid where he gets caught ball watching on screens.
Yep.
And he's not doing a very good job of boxing out when the ball goes up. The fact you give up, I mean, as many offensive rebounds, Louisville should not be that bad on the defensive boards. And I don't really know. I don't really want to blame the players because it's not really their skill set. Short of Scott, who his stat line may have looked decent and maybe a mirage, was not very good on the rebounds. And he's unfortunately, sadly, our only real rim protector.
Yeah.
Now, I like Pryor. I love the energy. I love the fact he's going to piss people off. He's going to get people under their skin.
Okay. Just for reference, people,
and
Winthrop had 19 offensive rebounds to Louisville's 10. Louisville's an offensive rebounding team. Obviously, Winthrop does a lot of similar things that Pat Kelsey likes to do. They've kept a lot of the things that, there's just a lot of similarities there. But
you saw this in the Tennessee
19
game
offensive rebounds to a team with Winthrop that has hardly no size out there is just unacceptable.
Well, when it comes to rebounding, it's positioning and effort.
Okay, exactly.
It's
But
positioning and effort, and I don't want to get mad at some of the other big men, i.e. Waterman and Pryor, because I just think they're 24-year-old guys now. That's the
positioning and effort isn't good enough though.
Well, and they're not going to learn it in the season.
But are you trying to get to the next level or not? That's my thing. That's because I'm an NBA guy at heart.
I mean,
and I know that all of these guys, you're not in college basketball still as a fifth-year guy to not try to be doing all the things you can do to get to the next level. Why are you not doing all the things you can do out there to make sure that your scouting report is great rebounder, high effort, high motor? That should be that should be your goal, though. And I just don't understand.
I don't know if this is an insult, but I mean, if Pryor and Waterman are looking at the NBA, it's the National Brazil Association. I mean, it's
they're gonna try though. You know they're gonna try.
I'm sure they're gonna try. They've been trying for 4 years.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just saying. It should be better. It should be better defensive effort. 19 offensive rebounds.
Well, the defense is what it is. And this is what you're going to get when you get a group of all seniors.
You forced 19 turnovers, but you turned it over 20 times.
Yeah.
You turned the ball over 20 times against Winthrop.
It's a sloppy game, but unfortunately, it's also a game that just kind of shows you what Louisville's going to have to go through the ups and downs this season. And that is, and we're going to see that on Wednesday too. And we'll talk about it later in the show if you want. But I don't want to preview. I want to give the football team their love, but. Like the inability to get on the glass and protect the rim, and you saw it against Tennessee, particularly as much as anything, and you're going to see it exposed when Louisville gets more into ACC competition, is going to be a problem. And a lot of it's going to be on. I hate to put it on one kid, but a lot of it's going to be on Scott, and he's got to grow up a little quicker right now than I think he's ready to do. Because outside of him, Louisville does not have any other answers to answer that problem.
There's not another option. He has to be now. He has to provide more.
Now that said, the two things this team is going to be going on, and I've got a lot of pent up because, like you said, Friday's my first time on the radio, so I got a little bit. I got some few months pent up, so I'll try not to ramble too much, and I won't make it a habit.
Go ahead, ramble.
I won't make it a habit. Yeah, right.
Ramble.
If Mike says he's going to pull shit, and not stop rambling. The one thing that this team, outside of what I just talked about, I mean, this team is going to go as far as Edwards and Chucky are going to take him.
That's true.
And I like Hatley, I do. And he's a nice little role player. I loved what he did in this game. He played the style of game I want to see him do most of the season, which is be more kind of a low block guy, be more aggressive. I know he can hit the three. Everybody wants to shoot the three. It's fun to shoot the three.
13 rebounds.
Have to shoot the three.
13 rebounds, double for us.
And I don't expect him to get that every day. I mean, he's not going to. I don't. I mean, if he's getting, he's got the motor for it.
He's the one out there with the effort for it. So I mean,
in certain matchups, yes. And Winthrop
against a roster like Winthrop that doesn't have this.
Well, who's got guys that are his same size, 6'6", 6'7" on the low block.
I'm not saying don't go do that against Indiana. You're not going to go do that against Indiana, but a Winthrop.
But that's what he should be. Now, but
James Scott should be getting 9-10 rebounds. Pryor should be getting 8-7 rebounds.
Pryor in this type of game maybe, but he's not going to. Pryor does not rebound. He does not defend.
I don't know why.
He does not want to. He wants to shoot threes. He wants to drive, and he wants to show the three fingers up and the eye goggles and the arrow and the sleep and all the other hand gimmicks all the kids do these days. I don't know sign language, so I couldn't tell you. But I mean, he's a great spark. But this team, I mean, it just to me, it's going to be Chucky and it's on Edwards. And Edwards, I swear to, I'm not even religious, but I swear to any God that you might worship. For every freaking pump fake he does when he gets in the lane, now I'm gonna swallow him with a pillow for 10 seconds.
Triple pivot, double pump.
I mean, every time he is pump faking in the lane, and for the love of fucking God. And no one's pulled for it in 4 games.
Double pump, pivot, half spin, pivot, double pump, floater off the back rim.
You're making me cough. It's just so aggravating when he gets in the lane and he does the jump stop, which old school me is a travel, and which I'm not going to complain because he's doing it. He's like, I want Louisville to be successful.
Yeah, do what you can get away with.
Do what you get away with. But you're not getting away with the pump fake. It's not working. It hasn't worked.
3 from 9 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3 from Terrence Edwards.
You get in the lane, go up strong. It's the same thing we saw with Chucky a little bit in the Tennessee game where he'd get in the lane and he just looked indecisive. And when Chucky can get in the lane and get creative and be kind of that Mookie Blaylock player for us, which I think he can be. It's a high ceiling, and I don't think he's going to be as good as Mookie in the NBA level. Hopefully a better person than he was off the court. But, I mean, college Mookie, I know it's maybe before your time. That's what I see in a Chucky Hepburn, Mookie Blaylock. Starting point guard for 88 Oklahoma Final Four team. Was once, his son actually played wide receiver for Georgia, played for the Hawks for several years. Great defensive player, good team, good distributor, averaged about 7-8 assists. But in Oklahoma's offense, that Billy Tubbs, that's up and down, and that's what Chucky can do at this team. Again, that's a high ceiling. I get, but it's something I can see him being that kind of role, that type of player with this team, especially. And I use that name as a comparison because of his ability to play defense and just shut people down, no matter what position.
Yeah.
And I love it. And so, I mean, but offensively,
when he's pressing the issue offensively,
got to get the ball in the lane.
Yeah,
got to get the
and
ball
when
moving.
he does, when in the moments he did get into those lanes, the offense just flowed way better.
And when he does,
it opened up open shots for more players, and the ball moved more.
And that's what I was seeing, because Waterman's offense is standing there catching the ball, shoot a three,
and she's not hitting him at a high enough.
I know he's not, but we'll hopefully get there at some point or another. I mean, just let's hopefully give it time, because if he's not going to hit threes, then he's probably worthless. I mean, he's not in there to stretch the court.
He can't defend,
stretch the defense, and just shoot threes.
But he had a good, the
problem is
he had 3 blocks though. He had his 3 blocks.
Like you mean he went to the block 3 times?
No, Waterman had 3 blocks.
Oh, that's his cousin must do the stat sheets at ESPN. There's no.
He had the 1 block off the backboard that was nice. James Scott had 5 blocks.
I must have been like closing my eyes on.
Case and Pryor had 2 blocks. We're saying these.
I remember the Pryor block. Yeah, I remember one of his, and it's Winthrop. I mean,
the defensive effort in the second half was much better than
it's like
than
you
in the
bragging
first.
about beating me up the stairs over here.
Even though they allowed more points in the second half, it felt like this defensive effort in the second.
It was
half
a sloppy game, but the thing is, and I'm gonna be positive now.
You want a sloppy game by 15, though.
You want a sloppy game by 15. You want a sloppy game.
You want a sloppy game.
We have not won a
last year.
sloppy
We would have
game
been down
in 2
15.
years.
We would have been down 15 to this Winthrop team last year. I saw a tweet that said that, and that is very, very true.
Sorry, I got to quit coughing. I have a cough button here.
Oh yeah, there's no cough buttons. This is YouTube.
This is not used to. This is a smoker cough button. I'm used to radio. I got a cough button, so I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna try to get past that. I need to bring in some water up here with me.
You want me to go get you some water?
Not right now. We'll do that in another game. We're learning, like Louisville basketball. We're learning as we go.
We are,
and we're gonna keep moving forward. I want to be happy. It's a win, and a win is a win. And when you dealt with 2 years of Kenny Payne, I'll take any win.
That's true.
Before we talk about IU, because that's a horse of a different color. Let's talk about Saturday, baby.
Let's pause for a second. We're going to take a side note to Roman's parlay that I've got right now, folks. All right, Trevor, I've got this parlay in $5 to win.
I'm not going to die, I swear.
$5 to win $320 here. I might have to go show the camera this. We've got a 7-leg parlay, 294. First leg is we've already had 2 legs green check for us. First leg was under 143 Chicago State game. I just thought on a neutral court that's just going to be, those 2 teams are not going to be able to score enough points.
You're one of the guys that just bets all the random, like you got
yeah.
money lines, over under.
I wanted a bunch of games that were going to be like done or started before we were off the airwaves. Under 143 hit super safe. The game ended at 63-48. So like, what is that? 112, 113.
I went to Wagner. I don't know. I don't know.
Not very much at all. The second leg was Miami of Ohio -4.5. They were only up 11 at halftime, which is still safe, but they looked like Siena was going to come back in the second half. They didn't.
Ron Harper would be happy.
They just kept it. They kept it. They were never able to get back within 8, I believe. But those 2 legs have hit. Now we're looking at Louisiana plus 10.5 in the first half still.
Raging Cajuns.
We need Hampton plus 6.5 with 4 minutes left against Duquesne, which I only know how to say that. I wish you would have heard. I forgot how was I saying it? I was going Duquesne, and I was
playing Duquesne.
Oh, I am saying it wrong.
Yeah, it's Duquesne.
Look at me. I thought I was saying it right.
Duquesne. It's bugging me too, because Duquesne had a guy go to the
Duquesne.
Duquesne took a big man. They had a big man go in the first round of the NBA draft. I want to say circa 98, 99.
Who?
Suns took him. I can't remember his name now.
Suns draft pick. And can you get it before I look it up, Trevor?
I would just go to Duquesne and look at their draft picks. I want to say he was 6'11". I'm pretty sure the Suns took him. He was picked in the 20s, I believe. Wasn't David Vaughn? He went to Memphis. It was around that same time that Vaughn got drafted.
Derek Alston.
Derek Austin. That's
Doug Arnold.
Where Derek Austin got drafted. He's 6. Well, how big is he?
Duquesne, pre-drafting Duquesne. He went to the Sixers.
Oh, Sixers, my bad. Sorry.
They don't have any names I know. I don't.
That's the one I remember because I had his basketball card back in the day. That's how you.
They've actually got a bunch from back in the day.
Yeah. It's in Philadelphia, I believe.
Al Bailey. I've seen that name before, but these are all geezers. These guys might not even be alive anymore. Most of them. Most recent draft pick is from 1994, though.
And that was
Derek Austin.
Derek Austin. Okay, that's who I was thinking of. I just had what pick was he?
The 33rd pick. So the
second round.
Second pick of the second round.
Well, not at the time.
Is there more picks than 30 in the first round then?
What year was that? 94? Yeah, since then the NBA's added 4 teams.
Oh yeah.
The NBA watered itself down to
so there wouldn't have been 30 picks.
90s,
there wouldn't have been 30 picks, and that's something I should know. I don't know.
The NBA added 8 teams in 6 years throughout the 90s.
We need Howard money line as well, folks.
Come on,
Second
Howard.
half just started. They're down 3.
Come on, Ron.
Pick it up, Howard. Oh, look at that. Hampton to tie the game. Hampton's tied the game with 2 minutes and 38 seconds left. Hampton has tied the game with 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
You know George Costanza has the place in the Hamptons?
No. I want to go to the Hamptons. Can I afford it? Is it affordable?
I think so.
You think we could go? We should go.
We might be able to go. I don't think
No, we should go to Vegas.
You've been to Vegas, right?
Nope.
You've never been to Vegas?
Not once. If I hit this parlay, we can go.
Well, I tell you what, speaking of Vegas, and I want to switch over because you look like you were Vegas bound when I saw you on the video of the Pittsburgh game.
Let's talk about
before we get to the second half. Louisville coming out, punching Pitt in the mouth. I'm not surprised. I think I texted I said this to some friends. You know, my confidence was high. I knew Pitt sucked. I watched. I mean, you can do the little homework thing. We look at their schedule. Pitt had not beat anybody all year. I watched them the last 2 weeks against Clemson and Virginia. Their offense was total shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes Ron English look competent, and it's that bad. And granted, Stanford's offense wasn't great, but nowhere here nor there. This was a game. I love this game. I think I told Rutherford, I said I woke up feeling the cheesiest this morning. I hammered the 7 points.
Really?
I loved it. I had some concerns throughout the game, mainly that you didn't slam your beer, you didn't slam your caffeine beer before, which you're supposed to.
Apparently, there's no caffeine in it now. It's just a bunch of sugar.
That's kind of sucks.
There's 13.9% alcohol, but there's no. It's just like the sugar.
13% alcohol.
Yeah, they took the. That's why they got banned from the caffeine. Now there's none. There's just high fructose corn syrup.
That was the bad part about it was the caffeine.
Yeah, now I'm just geeked off the high fructose corn syrup and alcohol rush.
So your thoughts? I went on more about the basketball game. You were at the football game, had a fun experience.
Had to get in there. Last home game till 2025.
Very fun.
Last game till 2025. To get in there.
So your thoughts? Your thoughts on the game and the destruction of Pittsburgh?
I can sit here and tell you, I don't want to nitpick.
You don't remember past the second quarter?
No, I know, because I was pretty sober. I know you can't drink when you're drinking that. So I went into the game completely sober.
You were not sober when you slammed that.
I was. Well,
no, you weren't, dude. I know that look. I saw your eyes.
Before I slammed it,
I was in my 20s at one time, many moons ago. I've seen that look in a man's eyes, and that's the look of a man's eyes going, being this with his girlfriend, he's going to be on something in an hour.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't completely sober. Maybe I wasn't. I might have had a high noon or two, and I was at the tailgate. I
missed that look in my eyes.
Tailgate a little bit.
I do. I see. It reminded me when I went and saw when we beat Southern Miss for the Conference USA title. And I went in so hammered that I didn't even remember bringing in a Whopper from Burger King in my pocket. And I fell. My friends had to almost carry me in.
Whopper King in the pockets.
And I woke up like in the middle of the second quarter and just pulled out this Whopper out of my pocket like I was Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places. I just started just eating this. I'll never forget this poor woman next to me just looking at me like I'm just the grossest thing she's ever seen. And I just looked at her and I was like, I got a Whopper in my pocket. And I'm happy to see you.
Hampton is taking the lead.
She gets up and walks away. My buddy's just like, "Oh my God, Trevor."
That's insane.
Then I realized I had a blunt in my other pocket. I'm like, "Hey," so
that's even worse.
We ended up going up the top of the hill and Cardinal State time in place.
Party deck, yeah.
Well, the party deck wasn't built yet. This was in like 2001.
Where the same spot is though.
The other side. I mean, you wasn't even enclosed at that point. This is 2001.
Grass Hill or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it was. I mean, yeah, you had the grass and stuff and the statue.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah. So that was a good time, man. And of course, I remember after the game, I ended up stealing a pot of lasagna from someone's tailgate and running off with it and eating it cold.
That's insane.
It was a good times. But that was the look you had in your eyes.
Yeah.
I feel like someone lost their container of lasagna in the tailgating lot somewhere that night.
And I had like red sauce all over my face. And
we didn't have forks. I remember my buddy Zach, rest in peace, Zach. We would just eat with our fingers. It's gross.
It's fucking foul.
I had like Burger King lasagna.
That's gross. That's gross, Trevor.
How is this man ever
That's
been
how it's
laid?
supposed to be, though. That's what game days are supposed to be. That's what partying before, during, and after games are supposed to be like, for sure.
So you look like you had a good time.
Great time. Great time. I don't experience the X's and O's of football as well in person as I do on
when
TV.
you're hammering.
Yeah, because you're also that's probably why I'm never completely in my right mind in a football game.
I'm gonna let you slide because again, you're young.
I watched the condensed.
No, this is the time
today.
to do it. This is the time to go out there and have a good time. And I wish I could vicariously living through you doing it because I haven't been like that in probably 10, 15 years. And I miss those times. They were fun. They were fun, good times.
We got to get you back in there next season.
You don't want to get me drunk in a game. Ooh. I'm a happy drunk though. I'm not like a mean drunk. I'm happy like hit on every girl drunk and get nowhere. And end up at home, with my right hand drunk. But I'm hitting on every girl drunk. I've said something, especially if you give me hard liquor. I've heard I'm like a Richard Dawson. I'm just going up there, everybody's kissing everybody on the cheek and shit and grabbing butts. And
that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of where I go to. The one thing I had about the game, and I know this is hard to nitpick, but I want to bring
the game management and the clock management was weird as well. Again, the short yard play calling was weird again. But at the end of the day, we were just too good. The big plays, when we needed to make big plays, the offensive line when it needed to be in the offensive line in the run game was spectacular the whole day.
It was, and that's kind of where my beep is.
Because you didn't run the ball enough.
You didn't. Well, in this game they did eventually. But that was where we didn't talk about the Stanford game on our first show, and it's gone and passed, and I don't want to talk about it anymore really. But that was what really pissed me off most about that Stanford game, amongst a lot of things. But the thing that pissed me off most was that Brom just kind of went to his Mike Martz type mentality and just stopped running the ball. Yeah. And you got Duke Watson over here averaging, 10 yards a carry. Yeah. Now, granted, he had a 60-yard run, so he was averaging more like 5 or 6 yards a carry. But I don't know. Listen, I get it. It took me 3 years to do pre-algebra. Even my dumb ass can tell you run the ball 3 times at 6 yards a carry. That's the first fucking down.
Every time.
Okay. So, I mean, unless, you're playing in an ACC and they just screw us over like they like to. But that's the first down. And it irritated me. And you go back and look at that Stanford game, I think Shuck threw 56 pass attempts. We ran the ball 27 times. Yeah. You saw in the second quarter up 17-0, when the game is still somewhat in question. You saw a little bit.
Why are you not running the ball?
You saw a little bit do that for 3 straight possessions. Just run, throw, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And it was just pissing me off thinking, just do not do this. Thankfully, Pittsburgh's quarterback, we broke his leg, and then their backup, we hit his.
Was it really broken?
I don't know.
Because that's what they were saying to me at the game, but at that point, okay, maybe
he got hurt. He got bent over.
Yeah, because now you're right. Now I was definitely not sober before that because I remember when they were like his legs broken.
That was like late.
I remember like the backup played a whole series before I knew the backup was out there, and I was like, "Wow, is that the backup?" And they were like, "Yeah, the starter broke his leg." And I was like, "What?" And
then we knocked the backup out.
Yeah,
so they were down to like a 3rd string walk on or something. So there's. At that point, especially 17-0 in their situation, the way we were playing defensively, it probably wasn't going to matter. We may have won with a lesser confidence or lesser margin but we went back to the run game after like those couple possessions. And if you look back in the stat sheet, Louisville ended up running the ball. I think 40 something. I think 43 to 28 in terms of the rush to pass attempts. That's where this little bit. I know Jeff wants.
That's where it has to be.
But this team is too good built around
with a good quarterback.
And you saw him do that last year, though. You saw
17 for 28. He's going to give you an efficient game throwing the ball.
But you can't. We're just not going to be good enough. And when we were asking Shuck to throw the ball 60 times, we're going to have trouble winning games like that. And I know there's not that many games left, but
Duke Watson didn't play enough early in the year for me. I guess we didn't have a way to know, and there was a chance we wanted to redshirt him at the start of the year.
I think it's because he's not on the college football game. He's not. He's really the only impact player not on the game.
Really?
Yeah. He's listed as Colton Ashley, and he's a redshirt sophomore for some reason. You can change his name on there, which I have, but you can't change his class because I'm a nerd. But between that and the lack of respect they give to Isaac Brown, is only a 79 rating.
That's kind of pitiful.
Yeah, it's okay. I think somebody from the ACC probably did it for us. But other than, it was a good, confident game. I felt good about it looking at the way last year after we had our poop in the bed game against Pittsburgh. We came out.
Yeah, we had to get our lick back.
We came out, but last year when we did that, earlier in the year as well on the road, we came back, we licked our wounds, and we dominated Duke, beat them 23-0. And then, of course, we ended up beating Virginia Tech like 34 something after that. So we rebounded well. That's why I felt confident we'd rebound on this weekend. And I know it's early, and I know I have been burned by this more times than going raw dog with a hooker. But I'm gonna stand right now. Right now, we're fucking beating Kentucky. Louisville will beat UK in football.
I've guaranteed it. Did you know that?
I've guaranteed it more times than I can count, and it hasn't worked out. Trust me, in 4 years.
Did you hear the news today?
I have not.
Cutter Bowley starting this Saturday against
Cutter.
Cutter. They're starting Cutter, Trevor. They're going to play Cutter. They're going to put Cutter in the game.
How do I live in a world where I know 2 people named Cutter?
They're going
Cutter Bowley and Cutter Dystra. Do you know who Lenny Dystra is?
No.
Lenny Dystra, former great center fielder, baseball player. His son is named Cutter Dystra.
From what time frame?
He played in the 80s and 90s. He was on the Phillies team in the 90s.
Cutter was?
No, his dad, Lenny.
Lenny was?
Lenny was known for chewing tobacco. And his son, Cutter, is married to the daughter from Sopranos.
The actor?
The actress, yeah. The real hot one that I would drink a bathwater of. Yeah, what's her name? Not the mom. What's not Carmela, but what's Meadow.
Meadow, yeah.
Yeah. She's
Meadow Soprano. Trevor, she's 17 in the show.
At the time, I was 17.
All right.
That's okay.
You're right.
That brings up a whole nother story of the Arya Stark, is she hot now thing.
God.
That's a debate.
But yes, the Louisville football team, that second quarter, there was too many.
You can't say anything.
There was too many 3-and-outs in that second quarter for me. And the game management, like we should have beat them by more. There was just too many missed opportunities. Not missed opportunities.
I mean, we took our foot off the brake a little bit, but I mean,
we had to settle for field goals twice in the first half, I believe. Two first half field goals that I felt like we shouldn't have had to settle for.
Short of that second quarter kind of stagnant offense right there when it was 17-0. We ended up going 24-0 in. I think it's a half, but off the Isaac Brown touchdown. But other than that I was happy. I think it was a good win. This team needed both offensively and defensively. And listen, going into the Kentucky game, I mean, you needed all the momentum you can. Now I hope that we're not going on a false high. I don't think we are. I think this team is, and I've said this before, God help me, but I think this little team is as good as we've ever put against Kentucky. Of course, I did last year and we lost. So but we are better at quarterback, which is a big thing. Shuck is definitely improving over Plummer. The running game is as good as it was last year, which was a definite positive, which has helped lead this team to 10 wins last year. I don't want to guarantee, but I almost feel like I want to. I'm that confident right now. I am feeling the cheesiest. I am feeling like we are going to get this win this year. And damn, I mean, it's the revenge tour. I finally beat Clemson. Fuck it. Let's finally beat Kentucky.
Let's finally get it. Yeah, we got to end the streak. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a must. We've been a better roster 2 years in a row. We've had better. I'm not going to ever sit here. From what I've seen, Mark Stokes is not a better coach than Jeff Brom. We've had a better coach. What is going to be 2 years in a row now? Coach. That's like we're coaching throughout. I believe in what's going to be 2 years in a row now from top to bottom. I think or key player play.
Well, the
position
the key's
play.
Going to come down to the line play.
It's what I know. It's what it always comes down to.
They have completely pimped us for several years in a row
on both sides of the ball
and defensive line. Yeah. It hasn't been pretty, and for the most part, they've come out.
We've got to beat them, Trev.
They've come out and they've punched us in the mouth, and we've gone down like some bitches. And we need to, we have to be able to stand back up and do like what Ohio State did with IU. IU punched them in the mouth on Saturday morning. They came out Mike Tyson wise and treated them like Peter McNeely and just took one swing and almost knocked them on their ass. And Ohio State could have maybe voted. And I think if the game was IU, it might have been a different situation. But
yeah,
that's
a great point. Yeah,
and the Ohio State came back. They turned the ball over. They lost it on a 4th and goal. They were down against 7-0, and they went to half only up 14-7. Unfortunately, IU just ran out of gas. And you saw again where we talk about the line play. Ohio State's defensive line just completely dominated, which is what it's tendency going to do when you have guys that are like 3 first-round picks on it. And Jack Sawyer and
you
JTT
got NFL players,
yeah. The secondary is not as good, but doesn't matter when your defensive line's dominating. So yeah, that was incredible. AW Wrestling. I know you watched that. You came home hammered.
Tell me about it.
You and the missus.
Tell me about it. Tell me
You
about
and the
it.
missus came home, got like a cheese platter out, got like a box of wine, a little Merlot maybe.
I got dressed up Saturday night, went out.
Yeah,
and
I know
was
you did.
wearing a
I know
tie.
you did.
I had a tie on Saturday night.
And you ordered a little AEW paper, a full gear. You were like, yeah. and Al Fletcher going at it. I got you. Yeah, you were all. But more importantly, like Mike, you were dream on Orange Cassidy winning that. I thought he had him, and he kicked out at 2, and I was like, "You sick son of a bitch!" And then, of course, they cheated because that's what bad guys do, and then Orange Cassidy got beat.
And then AEW, they let you cheat.
Well, the ref wasn't looking.
The ref wasn't looking.
Yeah, the official, who I believe works also part time for the ACC during our basketball games, was conveniently checking out something else on the outside of the ring, and Wheeler Yuta, who despite being an Eagles fan, came in and gave a big knee to Orange Cassidy.
You know the fandom of the NFL fandom of the middle, the second tier wrestling.
The last AEW show I went to, I sat ringside, loved it. It's great. So you can see me on TV. You can't miss me. I'm the big fat dude in the red shirt. I mean, it's like, but Wheeler Yuta was there. He's from Philadelphia, and he wore. I know he was wearing Kelly green and gray tights. And when he came up he got thrown up against the barricade right in front of me. I just looked at him and just said, "Go Birds!" And he was selling his injured. And he kind of looked at me and goes, "Go Birds!" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't care if you are a bad guy now. Go Birds, baby."
Okay. That's a cool story for someone who's a fan. I don't know a damn thing of the people he's talking about.
You love Orange Cassidy. He just doesn't care about anything. He's from wherever, Wing, whatever.
Trevor, we've got a winning parlay on our hands potentially here.
Well, yeah.
Let's look at this.
So you're buying lunch today?
Let's look at this. Oh, did
what do you bet on here?
Hampton covered.
Okay.
Hampton covered
because that's what Hampton does.
That's what Hampton does. Plus 6.5 to Kesney.
What is Hampton's claim to fame?
They were cheating on your wife? I don't know.
I'm sure they do that too, but no, they were the 15th seed to beat Iowa State in 2000.
I started watching college basketball in 2008.
Okay, I'm going to let you slide because I know you're young, but this is one thing you do not have an excuse for. Your generation has the freaking internet.
I should know.
You can look up everything.
But I didn't start really.
You know what I had to do when I was your age? This is going to be like our favorite part of the show is when Trevor talks about going uphill twice naked every day to school. At my age, no. I used to have to look into the old encyclopedia books, and these things were freaking humongous. Yes, I had a book. It was, you had to look it up all paper wise, and now you just go everything, click on the internet. It's so easy. You got to learn. Knowledge is power, my friend Roman. We're going to teach you this. My favorite book of all time is the Encyclopedia of NCAA Tournament from 1938 to 1991, which is when I got it, and I memorized it.
Duquesne's going to lose.
Oh, no. First of all, it's Duquesne still.
Duquesne.
They're going to lose to Hampton.
I don't know who has the ball, though.
There's an update for somebody there.
It's weird that FanDuel thinks that it's ended.
So then Saturday night, as I said, go Birds with Yuta. He cheated. But then Sunday, we had a nice little full day of Sunday football, fantasy-wise. Your Aints were off, but guess what? I'm picking up your Aints quarterback to start for Lamar Jackson's bye week in week 14. So come on, Derek Carr.
I'm going to start.
What do you do on a Sunday when your Aints aren't playing?
I worked. I had Bellarmine women's basketball produce in the studio. Shout out to Jim Tyree.
Yes, I love Jim. Jim's a great guy.
You know him?
I like Jim. I know. I did board work for Jim, and I've done some stuff with Jim. I like Jim. Yeah.
He cheers for Bellarmine.
Yeah,
straight up.
It's a women's game.
Got it. That's what he kept saying every time. Every time this girl named Toller hits a three.
Listen, I know that you have to draw a line. Somebody just leave their professionalism into a way.
He's like, got it.
But there's nothing better than homer announcers.
Yes.
Homer announcers are just so good, and the real test is when the team sucks.
They're like average. Bellarmine's average, so
which is good because Bellarmine girls have not been good to start doing this transition. They weren't. The men were ready for the transition to D1.
Women have struggled.
Women were not. They were far from ready, and I'm glad to see they're improving. But the homer announcers are just so good. In baseball, I think it's the best, but basketball, when you're losing, I mean. no one does losing homer announcing better than the Bengals. Like they had it. Like I mean,
they're funny. They've had some viral clips
after like 10 years. Yeah,
they've had viral clips. Yeah,
they had like a decade to perfect it. But yeah, when
they sucked for a long time. It's not very hard.
When you can get a good homer, I mean, you got to have good homer. Listen, you can't even watch. I mean, Paul Rogers has homers. You hear the homer in his voice, and Valvano's and Leach and anyone else that calls basketball. I mean, you got to have it there a little bit. And some of that comes with the fact that if you're following a team, whether you were a fan of theirs or not, when you started your job in that gig, you're around that team. I did the board for the Reds for like 2 years in a row.
What?
I mean, yeah, and did all those games when we were Cumulus
with the Reds radio broadcasters.
The Reds are on the radio. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
And so I mean, I get in. I was big into especially that those Reds teams in 09 and in 2010 because of that, and they were decent too. So.
But. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. Do you have any other concluding thoughts from the football game? I don't know. We did get past it pretty quick. I don't think there's anything else we missed out on. No. Shout out Chris Bell, bobbling the ball, bringing it down, going 68 yards.
All the good plays when everything that needed to go Louisville's way did go their way. I hope that didn't get used up all in that game. But no, it was.
Yeah, that was another thing. I hope
there wasn't other than the slight hiccup where I just see Brom do that, and it's
slight.
And he's done it to it the year. And it's because Brom wants to throw the ball, and I get that.
You're throwing on third and running on fourth,
but he wants to air it out.
What are you doing throwing on third and running on fourth in the red zone?
But this team needs to run the ball more.
Run the ball. Run the ball.
It needs and play action. It's going to be based on play action. And Jeff knows that. Jeff has forgotten more about football, drunk than I'll ever know just sober. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean,
for sure. He's a guru. He's a guru. He eats, sleeps, and breathes it.
Yeah, the guy drops turds of more football knowledge than I've got, and so I can't question him too much. But I don't think
it's like he's unsatisfied. He's out there unsatisfied.
I just think he's just caught up. Like when you're playing the video game. And
that's exactly what I've said on the radio. That's exactly what I said on the radio about him.
And you get kind of sleepy a little bit. You get in the zone, and you're kind of going through the motions. I think sometimes he does that. And when he does that, he gets in the comfort zone of wanting to call more pass plays over and over, especially on. And you get caught.
That's a video game mindset,
and that's just not gonna. That's a bad thing. And I think that sometimes has bit him in the ass, whether it be. I'm not as much at Western, but
he's gotten to go let his nuts hang. What it is, he's gotten to go let his nuts hang at schools like that, and the expectation's so much different here that I think you just have to be more on point. You have to have it more down pat. You have to look like a well-oiled machine as a team that's trying to be on a upward trajectory in the ACC. You can't be. You've had two rosters in a row now. I mean that, just the end of the last season and then the losses this season.
This season, passing wise, is a better team.
Yeah.
We've improved at all positions in the skill positions of both quarterback and wide receiver. And no respect to Plummer and company.
But the game management and the play calling, it still has had its moments where it's just not looked at the level of what the rest of the team has looked like up this year. I mean, the defense has been that in most games as well. You've had the and then us shooting ourselves in the foot wherever it is on the field.
I've defended Ron English too much.
Yeah, there's no more of that.
I have been there. I thought his job when his first tenure at Louisville. Excuse me, better than a cop though, I guess. His first tenure at Louisville was not as bad. I think a lot of Louisville fans look back at it and thought of it being worse than it was because of how bad he was when he left and went was Eastern Michigan, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he was just he won one game in 3 years there or whatever. And was
terrible.
It's Eastern Michigan, for God's sakes. I mean, but they haven't been good since then and won't be good after it. And he bounced, the routine bounced around and so on and so forth. But I think so. But his first tenure here, I think, was better than his second. Seems to be a trend for Louisville when you go to 2.0s.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse for this year. Like last year, you've seen glimpses about this when his defense can be good, and maybe it's not as much on the coaching staff. Sometimes you maybe blame the players, but because this is such an upperclassman level layer team that maybe you've got Quentin, guys out there just saying, don't tell me what to do, I'll do it myself. But for this team to be as bad defensively and as many points it has been with the talent level it has on it, there's no excuse. There's no excuse at all.
You're right.
And because of that, I mean, it's cost us a game or two. At least definitely Sanford and SMU off the top of my head. It definitely cost us with the defense just played not even at par, but well below par.
Yep.
And that's just it's inexcusable. And to have it maybe as a gap or as a quarter or a half maybe, but for 4 quarters, and that's what you saw in both those kind of games. There's no excuse
No,
that
no.
Ronnie's. I'm sorry.
The first 3 drives against
Yeah.
Boston College. Boston College's first 3 drives were all the defense was just came out completely flat. They completely turned around that game. Like the second half against Boston College is what led us into the Clemson game and stuff. But they've had multiple different. Like, if it wasn't a full game, it was a half at least, where the defense just wasn't what it was supposed to be doing. Usually in the first half of the game, and the defense realizes it gets its head on straight. Or Ron English starts, being logical.
I don't know anything about short, and I don't even play defense halftime. When I play college football, I'm the offense. I play offense only halftime. So I simulate.
Same here.
Because
I suck at defense on the game.
Oh, nothing worse when you take a lead with 12 seconds left in the game and you simulate defense and you lose the game. Your defense gave up a touchdown in 12 seconds.
Yeah,
they tried dealing with that. That cost me a new controller at one point. Sometimes I just want to throw the son of a bitch. But I don't know who you go after again. So but I think the change doesn't even made. This season I wouldn't call it. Kentucky game aside. And obviously, a lot can change the mood with a win at Kentucky or loss to Kentucky. I don't think the bowl game is relevant at all at this point. I think especially with the transfer portal bowl games, have kind of lost even the little niche that they did have. If you're not in the playoff now,
I think there's this hot take. There should only be 6 bowl games.
Well, financially, they're not going to do that because of the money. But yeah,
why? Why?
Because people have
you couldn't get more money if there was like 6. Like
the attendance doesn't matter. They care about the TV deals. That's all.
The TV deals mean that much. It's just crazy.
It's all about TV money. It's all about advertising.
So stupid.
And it's all about being live because everything else in this world is DVR'd. And when you can sell something at a TV market and sell it as live, and you're selling those commercials for 5 times what you're selling them for, Honey Boo Boo shows, which people DVR and just get past the commercials. And somehow they know this. I don't know how they got little like trolls inside our boxes or something, but
yeah,
that's kind of corny, kind of freaky, isn't it? A little troll inside the box,
a little bit.
Or pussy troll. Kevin Smith reference there. So but this season for you, Roman, is this football season a success or is it a failure? Or are you in between? I want to go past fail though.
It's not a failure. No, it's a major disappointment.
So you would say it's a pass though.
Yeah.
In terms of
you made history. You beat a team. You showcased that when the team clicked on all cylinders on both ends of the ball, you could beat Clemson.
You go and beat Kentucky, you're still finishing 8-4.
And that's just a disappointing season. It's not a failure in any way.
And to me,
you beat Kentucky and Clemson in the same year. People, I don't care what record you win. I say that if you're a team that's a caliber of beating Clemson and Kentucky, you should be winning at the very least 8 games.
And I get the Stanford loss is bad, and it's
terrible. It's the worst. It's the worst regular season loss in our history. They're saying.
Yeah, man. We lost to Memphis one year with D'Angelo Williams, where he just pimped us. Like we lost like 40-7 or something. That was bad too. I remember that in his younger days. But I know we've had some Southern Miss losses that make me reason why I hate them. But it was bad. It was because it was a 20-point favorite, and I think it's the second largest probably spread that we've choked on, short of the Syracuse one. I think in cracked over first year, which didn't count because we shouldn't have been favored in that game anyway because we sucked. But that loss, as bad as it is now, like in 3 years, if this team wins against Kentucky, this team goes to a shit bowl game, I don't care which one it is, and wins.
Yeah.
And you go and look back and you're looking at, the history of little one, your little computer, your laptop, your phone, your watch, on the wall because it's being projected because we've reached that level and we got hoverboards now. And you're looking through that. You're going to see 9-4. And you're going to say, that's a good season for Louisville. You're not going to, and you may or may not remember it because you beat Kentucky and you beat Clemson. You may not think it's a failure. You're just going to look at the record and see 9-4. And that, to me, as a Louisville fan, I know expectations can be higher, which is ironic when it comes to me. Something's higher. But 9 wins to me is still a good season. I'd love to see 10 like they did last year.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to go 9-4 with 12-2 rosters.
But we're going 8 this team is winning and consistently going 8 and 9 wins 8 wins as a minimum. I am content. Now, obviously, in the moment, as in this season, in the way the Stanford loss is and so on, I'm going to bitch, I'm going to moan, I'm going to be happy about things, I'm going to be mad about things. But when you look back at it in hindsight, this team wins a minimum of 8 games, which the Kentucky game would be.
Yeah.
Then this is a success. This is still a good season. The only thing that would make anything like that short would be if I look back at it knowing this team was loaded. And I can't think of a team other than maybe like the 01 team, I think, that went 9-3 and went to the Gator Bowl and got beat. Like that was kind of a disappointment for 9-3 because we were coming off a team that was that 04? I can't remember. I get my years mixed up again. Again, I was doing like you were.
Who was the quarterback?
It was Brom's sophomore year. It was the year after LaFleur.
Yeah, 01. I think it was 01.
No, Brom would have been 04. It'd have been a little later. But it was a team after we beat Boise in the Liberty Bowl, and we went 11-1 and had probably maybe top 3 or 4 best teams we've ever had offensively, especially at Louisville. Next year we went 9-3. It was marred by an early season blowout at Southern Miss, and then South Florida, excuse me. And then we ended up losing another game and then losing in the bowl game. And 9-3 was a good season. And in hindsight, look back at it, but me remembering that season, I go, okay, that was kind of a disappointment. And of course, the next year we went to the Orange Bowl. It was a 3-year gap where Louisville was as good as you're going to get in football, especially for Louisville. So I don't know. To me, it's still, even in the now, it's still a successful season going 8-4. I would not have wanted to lose to Stanford, but that's really the only loss I'm going to look back at and probably the season go, what the fuck, man?
SMU.
Yeah, but SMU's at least they're undefeated. I mean, you can see they're a good team.
They're a good team, but
I agree. Louisville should have beaten them.
What that meant for our season, how important the game that was, that altered your season more than any other game would have.
I mean, what was the other John L. Smith team that went like 11-1? Our only loss was to like Illinois, and then you look back, you think Illinois, but the Illinois team went 10-2 that year. I want to say it was that was in 2000. That was early 2001.
You know so much about that time.
I was alive during it.
Yeah, I was a.
And
couldn't talk.
And unfortunately, I get those, and somebody can correct me and tell me I'm wrong on the years, but because it does somewhat blend together. Because listen, I was 21 in 2001. Okay, so a lot of booze going on. Even though I went to more bars before I turned 21, I was going to bars at 16 without being carded.
I wasn't going to any bars.
No, I was 6'3", had gray hair already. They weren't carding me. They looked at. I never got carded for anything. But
well, Trev.
So what? I guess that's any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean,
what'd you do Saturday night when you got dressed up?
Me and my buddies have this thing called suit and tie night, where I call
that court.
We pick we pick a bar where is like more of an adult crowd type of a bar, more dress up on a Saturday night kind of a bar, like not sneakers kind of a bar. If we wear sneakers, we'll be the only ones in there wearing sneakers kind of a bar.
Okay.
And then we just dress up a little bit, go out there and feel like we are living in a tax bracket that we're really not living in. And go to certain places we normally don't go to,
I'm going
they
to
like to
vicariously through you in the show.
They like to be under the impression that they're going to holler at older women.
So
my friends.
So while I was watching men in tights beat each other up and blew a bloody pulp in my underwear, you were dressed in a suit at a bar.
Yeah, not a suit, but a tie.
A tie.
Well, Dickies jacket, black Dickies.
If you have a tie, it's a suit to me.
Yeah, it was a black, but I was wearing black jeans too. Like it wasn't.
Oh wow! I mean, so what bar did you go to?
Taj.
The mall.
Pretty much.
Where's Taj? I've never heard of it.
It's on Market.
Okay.
It's the one that's 2A.
Now, wait a minute, you got a girlfriend, though. Why are you going out there with the dudes going? I mean,
she was out with a bar. We planned to meet up.
Okay.
Yeah, this was just, it was a buddy of mine's birthday who's out of town. And the first ever suit tie night was kind of his idea. So he came in town for his birthday.
This is a group thing?
Yeah.
How many in a group?
15 people are knowing of this to happen and can come.
You were on there 15 deep?
No, we have a 15-person group chat with the plan being made in it. Only like 8 of us came dressed up.
Still, you went in there 8 deep?
8 deep, dressed up.
I mean, you go in mob deep. I mean,
ties, sunglasses.
Did you pull up did you get like a valet or anything, or you just
pretty much?
Can I go one night?
You got to dress up.
I don't know what defines dress up, like because I have
collared shirt minimum.
I have a collared shirt.
It has to be buttoned up.
I wore it to TJ's wedding. He's still pissed about that.
It has to be buttoned up.
Well, wait a minute. Does it like
not the top, not the top button, but the second to top has to be up. It has to be.
I'm not. Yeah, I got too much.
No V-neck.
No. I got. Look at
unless it's all the way V-neck.
Yeah. No, I look.
Unless you're being suave, Rico Suave.
I look like the guy in Beverly Hills Cop, and when he's got all the chest hair coming out. No, you know, I'm not. I gotta wear the. I'm buttoning it up.
I'll bring you at this one night.
So now, what about pants? Wise, a shirt? I can't wear sneakers.
Yeah. I think you got to be black.
I got fancy flip flops.
What does that mean?
They're black.
They're like thong flip flops.
They're the Adidas ones.
They're like that. Those are
no.
thongs.
These I bought at Walgreens.
Those are
one
thong
day.
flip flops, though.
These are thongs.
Those are
the
thong
ones
flip-
that your toes go in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought these at like Walmart or Walgreens.
Are the ones you're talking about thong
No,
flops?
the ones I bought. The ones I'm talking
Actually,
about.
you're grown. Yeah, you can wear flops. You can wear
Girl,
flops.
man, I can beat that everybody
Yeah.
wants.
Just no fitted pants like that. They've got to be.
These are what you mean that if I
They've got to be
if they don't
flow. They
fit,
got to be
then how can I
slacks.
wear
They got to
them?
be slacks. Like no cuffed pants. I mean, no cuffed link pants like that at the bottom.
Oh, these are cuff length.
Not cuff linked.
I have
they're,
no idea, dude. I just
they're cuffed. They're fitted. They're tapered pants. They're tapered.
I saw Eagles
You have
throwback
tapered
sweatpants on the
sweatpants.
big and tall category, and I bought them.
You've got tapered sweatpants. You can't wear those. You got to wear some flowy pants, like a slack. It can be sweatpants, but they've got to look like slacks.
I got a pair of Bufu sweatpants.
Bufu?
Yeah, Bufu.
Spell that.
You know, BUFU.
What the hell is that?
Bufu by us. Fuck you.
Fuck.
I can't tell you. That's a how high
I
reference.
knew that was some shit. I knew that was some shit. Let's see if the parlays look how the parlays.
I think
looking
I
here.
need to get to go out to this fancy night, tie night.
Suit and tie dye.
I have a suit now. It's a little tight. I wore it to court last. It was a little tight fitting though, because I haven't worn it in a while. And I wore it to my grandmother's funeral, and I wore it to my cousin's wedding. And I've got a Star Wars tie. Can it be a fancy tie? Can it be a funny tie?
It can be whatever.
All right.
You can come.
Now, what's the driving situation here?
We all just kind of get ourselves there. A couple of us carpool sometimes.
Okay.
Well, then we go to multiple bars too, usually.
Wait, just
Well,
walking?
there's certain bars that it depends on. That's the thing.
Are we doing like the Bambi crawl?
No, we drive to. We go to one, do what we need to do there. Go to another, do what we need to do there.
Will there be tables there?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as I can sit.
Oh yeah.
We don't. You do dance.
I don't go to the bar if I can't sit.
Do you dance?
Oh yeah.
And what does one do at a bar if you're not?
I hit that
looking
little
at-
groove you were talking about.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, you got some little rhythm there. Like, what does one do at a bar when you're not looking to pick up something though? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
And I'm not a drinker either.
It's like going to a restaurant not hungry.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law. That's what I'm in there doing. Not really, but I'm in there usually just waiting for my girlfriend to either meet me out or tell me where we're gonna go.
Okay.
Or
Where'd you meet her at, by the way? At the bar.
at a different bar.
All right. See.
But this was
Was it fancy night bar or was it, where does one go on non-fancy night?
non-fancy night. We go to like the places you wouldn't want to go.
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, you'd be the oldest person there by like 14
Is
years.
it an age or a race thing? I'm just curious.
Age for sure.
Okay.
Age for sure. I'm ageist apparently.
Honestly, I can accept either one, to be honest with you. But I mean, I once saw two bars, so I mean that was literally the only white guy there. And I don't mean figuratively; I mean literally. I think they thought I was his manager because that was the only white dude there. You ever listen to a little Too Short?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Too Short's the man.
Blow the whistle.
I saw
Blow the whistle.
So there was some hole in the wall bar downtown. I don't even remember the name of it. My buddy called me. He was like, "I'm going to sit Too Short." I was like, "All right."
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool random ass experience.
It was, circa. I think it was. Let's say it was in like 99, 2000, roughly around then. All right. Well,
Any other concluding thoughts, Trevor? We got it's free. It's feast week. I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing.
We'll be back on for Louisville basketball talk here on Wednesday.
Well, are we going to do tomorrow? Are we going to do Wednesday? Because I do have some thoughts on the IU game, and I don't know if we need to. Do I need to save it? Do I need to talk about it?
I think we come on during the game.
You want to come on during the game?
Put the TV over there. Put it in front of us. Watch it while we.
Are you an emotional watcher? It's okay
On negative things, yes.
because I'm listening again, and I was.
Like, I don't cheer. I don't cheer loud when positive things happen.
When I was your age, I did.
No.
I don't anymore. I'm more like
I do like on like a. We get a stop. We get a bucket. We get a steal, and then we get a fast break. I'm cheering on that fast break second bucket. But because that's the expectation.
I
Like,
do. If it's something a big turnaround, like if we're getting down and we make a comeback, I will get
I'm
pumped.
like, let's go.
Yeah, I've had tendency of slamming my chest.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
I like to headbutt things for some reason.
Don't headbutt.
I once headbutted my head to a door on accident during a kickoff return by Broderick Clark.
No headbutting on the show.
Yeah,
please.
so not you, but the wall. I like to go Latimer. I'm at first table, baby. But
Howard's gonna sell
but
the
normally,
parlay.
I normally I keep it calm nowadays. I'm more of a. I don't get as excited as I used to. Like It cracks my mom up. Because she remembers me in my 20s when I would throw shit and I'd get pissed, I'd scream, I'd yell, and I just had the bad call brick, that little foam brick you'd throw at the TV, and it always bounce back and hit something and break it.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, but I've got a lot of commerce. So yeah, I could look forward to watching the game.
Okay, we might have to do that then. We'll figure it out. But that's probably going to wrap it up for us. This has been the Real Spiel Morning Show afternoon edition with your host, Roman Kelly, co-host Trevor Kelsey. We will be on, multiple days a week. We'll find a schedule. We'll find a plan for you guys. I will figure out how to work this restream a little bit better to where
I'm trying to cough so much.
To where we can add things and do things. I just don't have anything.
I don't add to it.
Like we can do a background. Well, we have a background, but we can add an intro. We can add photos. We can, I could have showed them this parlay. I could have showed you guys this parlay. I mean, I could have took a screenshot and uploaded it.
3 for 3, right?
We're everything's gonna hit except Howard. Howard's down 6 with,
so nothing's gonna hit.
Yeah, now Howard's down 8 with 3 minutes, so nothing's gonna hit exactly. But that under 148's already down to 136. They're not gonna go over 136 most likely.
No one even likes Howard.
Louisiana, I've got +10. They're up 8.
Who did Howard lose to?
They're about to lose to you. They're about to lose to UMBC.
Yeah, I mean UMBC, man. Come on.
I thought they were better.
Yeah, it's an HBC. You should get to be better athletes, right?
Fucking thing. Jesus Christ.
It's UMBC. They brought in Mandry McGee, for God's sakes. How good can they fucking be, right?
All right, everybody. That's the Real Spill Morning Show on the Real Spill Podcast. Roman Kelly, Trevor Kelsey.